Okay, trying again. This is take 3. Maybe it'll stay this time. I don't. Maybe Facebook didn't like my joke. Sorry, Facebook. I won't joke. No more. No more joking for me. It does not appreciate dark humor. Clearly. Okay. I need to get a new thread. This one's a little on the short side. There we go. I have my little my little trash bin for threads there. My thread catcher. Couldn't find it for a second. My table's very messy. I'm not going to show you the whole table because in between doing this live and trying to prepare a quick little vendor showcase presentation, I'm also working on my Pop Mart doll for my entry and doing some major batch sewing. I've been sewing some donations for BlytheCon and also just testing out some new pattern sizes. So I've got a new patterns for Monster High, both the older Monster High and the newer Monster High sizes. I've been working on those this week. Well, the last couple of weeks, really. Also, if you see like the pen marks on my fabric, you probably can't because the camera is not wanting to focus today. I use heat erase pen, and then when I'm done, I take the tip of my iron on the lowest setting and just go over all the way around all of the edges, and that just hides all of those. And that is honestly, I would recommend using that method for any felt sewing. Oh no, now it's saying my frame rate is too low again. Facebook, why? It doesn't want me to do the demo. This is just further proving to me I was really thinking about whether I was going to do my vendor showcase live or pre-record it, and since this is struggling so much, I will be pre-recording for sure. God, I really hate the Facebook Live video thing. Much prefer OBS. Oh no, it's a different squirrel. I have 3 baby squirrels this year that I've been watching grow up, so I feed them every time they come to the house, and they come several times a day. That's the littlest one that's here right now. He's a little bitty black baby squirrel. Oh, I've got this upside down. That's why I can't get my rhythm. Okay. It's saying my frame rate is too low again. Let me try. There we go. Oops. I didn't stuff it yet. I always mess things up when I do videos that I don't have a problem doing when I'm not on a video, just because I get distracted. I'm sure most of us who have done demos can probably relate. there, stuffing. Come on. There it goes. Nope, still saying frame rate too low. Okay, well this is probably a Facebook issue then, and not a my settings issue, because I've done everything on my end that I can. I hope it's showing up okay, because I can't change anything else. Alright, put that knot in, and then I'm gonna stitch this to the body. And this is just whip stitches again. Okay. And that's the lower half of the body. Now we just got to put the arms on and the head. If I can knot my thread. I don't know why this keeps saying my frame rate is too low. I don't know how to make it better. If I could have figured out how to do this on my phone, I would have just done it on my phone, because I think it's easier that way. But I don't know how. Oh well. Here, let's do some music. Can't make it worse. Oops. Oh, these little teeny arms are always the hardest part. They're so tiny. I need to tuck that little knot in there. But this piece is so small, my needle just keeps wanting to knock it back out. There we go. Okay, I think I got it. And a few more stitches. Oops. little knot up at the corner here. Oops. And then I may just skip stuffing the arms because I think that that's probably the most time-consuming step, and it really doesn't make a difference, in my opinion. So we're just going to stitch the arm onto the body up here. And I don't need to stitch it closed because I didn't stuff it. So I'm going to grab a pin. Only because I'm trying to show this on camera. So I want it to be extra steady. Normally I would just hold it. But I'm going to just pin right through the body there. Actually, I'm going to change the angle a little bit. There we go. Ouch. This is definitely harder to do with a pin sticking out the other end, but it's holding it nice and steady, so. Alright, let me take that out before it catches me again. Alright, that's one arm on. I'm just trying to move extra fast now because we're coming up towards the end of my hour. And I'm determined I'm not going to run over. Oh, squirrels. Give you a bigger scoop. Alright. And I think that's probably enough thread to do one more arm. Oops. If I don't throw it across the table. There's just small enough pieces, if they get thrown across the table, I'm going to lose them. Ooh, this might be a little bit tight, but that's okay. We're going to play some thread chicken here. This is a slightly longer sewing needle than I usually use, so it's a little more difficult to wrap the thread. I gotta do it this way. Alright, then put a little knot. I think I'm not going to be able to use this to attach it though, so actually just to tuck that tail in a little bit. Alright, new thread. too much because I'm only going to do the head, and then I'm going to need to switch to a different thread color to put the dress on. Hi, Amanda Bucci. Thank you for the comment. I was starting to wonder if it was still letting me stay live because I keep getting the notification that my frame rate is too low, and I don't know how to fix that on Facebook Live. I only know how to fix it on OBS. Okay, we're going to put our last arm on here. And you can put the arms like facing up or facing down. I just like them up. And whip stitch this on. Oop. And we're going to knot this off. Oops. If I can untangle the thread. There we go. Okay. There's our little doll body. Alright, we're kind of racing the clock here, coming up on the end of the hour. I don't want to impose on Christine's video. So we're gonna just go as quick as possible and try to get this head done. Alright, tuck that little thread in there. And then we're going to do the same blanket stitch all the way around, stopping when we come kind of towards the bottom here, and that's where we're going to put the stuffing in and attach it onto the body. So blanket stitch and a blanket stitch. And just keep doing that all the way around. Now, if you manage to download the pattern, I did see that it now says it's sold out. But if you manage to grab the pattern ahead of time, you might have noticed that it does show to paint the face onto the doll rather than stitch it or use buttons. That's really just down to personal preference. I just like the look of button eyes on a little doll, and then a painted or stitched mouth. But I feel like the average person probably doesn't have brushes small enough to paint a face on a head this size, so I happen to, because I do customizing and I have like eyelash size brushes, but I realize that the average person doesn't have those. All right. Now we're gonna stuff our head. Just open that up a little bit. This one I may be able to get some of it in with the pliers. Just gonna try all the stuffing tools because I'm racing here. Alright, now when you see that it's kind of starting to fill up, that's when it'll be easier to grab with the tweezers and push it the rest of the way in. And again, we're not going to get it fully round, we just want it to not be completely two-dimensional. So when it starts to have a little bit of shape to it, I'm going to pull off the trailing ends of the stuffing, tuck the loose little hairs into there. And then we're going to put the head onto the body. I'm going to stitch it closed and attach it. So more blanket stitching. Oops, there we go. And then knot it. Oops, I think I accidentally undid my knot there. There we go. Alright, and then attach to the body with more whip stitches. Get my little pin here. Oops. One more stitch. Then we're going to knot that off. Ooh. And one more time just to be extra secure. Okay, and we're going to switch our thread color. We're going to put the dress on. And I think we ran out of time to do the hair. But that's a super quick. You just take your matching hair thread and here, let me show with a different thread. And you're going to wrap it around like this. And then you just stitch it onto the head. Like that. If that makes sense. Okay. But I'm going to show the dress now. And we may have time to do both if I go just like a couple minutes over, which is probably okay. Okay. Oops. Now obviously you can see I folded this over. I already did a hem stitch on the bottom edge. We're going to basically do the same thing on the top edge, except we're going to do it as a running stitch so that we can pull it to gather it. But I'm going to do the back seam first, and the pattern doesn't say to do this, but This is just the way I prefer to do it. Um, I just like to get that back seam out of the way so I don't have to worry about it later. So we're going to do this with a small running stitch and like a narrow 1/4 inch. So it's like a 4 or 5 millimeter instead of a 6 millimeter seam allowance. Okay, and then knot that off at the top. And then separate this out and do a gathering stitch, and a gathering stitch is just a wide running stitch, and you're going to do that all the way around this top bit. Oops. Alright, and then without knotting or taking that out, you're going to leave the sewing needle in there, leave your thread in there, flip it so that it's right side out, put it up on your doll, hold your back seam on the back of the doll. Oops, actually my thread needs to be at the top, so we're just going to pull that through the top. Okay, so with your thread at the top where it's supposed to be, hold your back seam, pull those stitches tight, and then just sort of gather the dress around the doll. So that it's on there. And then knot it at the back through both the dress and the doll fabric. And then if you want to, you can always go around and stitch it down, but it's not really going to move if you knot the back through the doll fabric as well. So that's just personal preference. So I'm going to knot that off, and then I do like to put one stitch in the front to kind of pull the dress up a little bit. So I'm going to give myself a little knot here just so my thread doesn't come loose, but I'm not going to pull this all the way through. We're going to stitch through the doll fabric first where you want the dress to pull up to. Stitch through a couple of those gathers, making sure that your thread starts and ends kind of inside this fabric in here. Hi Debbie, welcome in. I am wrapping up here, trying to hurry up and finish before Christine comes on. So we're gonna just finish putting the dress on. I'm going to show you how to put the hair on, and we're just going to have to pretend that our little dolly has a face. So I pull that stitch and I pull the end of my thread really tight, and you can see how it pulls that dress back up towards the neck where I put that, if she will stop somersaulting, where I put that stitch in the doll fabric. And then I'm going to knot this off. I hope you can hear me. It says it's capturing audio, but again, it didn't let me do the microphone test that it usually asks me to do. So I'm just hoping for the best here. All right, and then I'm going to leave my tails just a little bit long because I'm going to want to tuck them into the dress rather than trying to trim them super close. So, oops, this one just keeps wanting to stick to the tweezers. There we go. Tuck those tails in there. Okay, so you have a dolly and a little dress. And we're going to switch to the hair thread. And you just need a little piece. So probably that much is good. Trim close to that knot. Alright, now, where's my pattern piece? This is the pattern piece that it gives for the yarn hair. Now when you want to cut the yarn hair, the way that you're going to do it, it says you want 10 of them twice. So to get 10, you do a wrap. This over and under, this is 2. So you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me scooch a little bit. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. And you're going to cut on the end with the loose yarn. So that you end up with 5 long pieces, and then you do that twice. And you get your nice little hank of yarn hair here. And then you're going to find the middle of that hair. Find the middle of the doll head. Go through the middle with your needle. Okay. Wrap underneath and back up, and underneath and back up. And pull it nice and tight. And then go through. This is looking good. So you're just gonna go, ouch, don't sew yourself. Go back through. And do this same little loop a few times. And then you're gonna knot it off. And cut. And now you've got a dolly with hair. And I usually will do a pigtail style. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. You're going to take more of your thread. And you're going to kind of hold it down where you want it. And go around. And make sure the arm is out of the way. Gonna go around a few times. And then tie a knot. Pull it really tight. Okay, so that's one pigtail, and then you're going to take your needle and thread and just stitch that down. So I'm going to tie the other pigtail and we'll stitch them down and then we'll call it a day. All right. So I'm going to take another little bit of thread here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it. Kind of get my little, mark it with my nail there. And we're going to wrap around and around a few times. And then knot it off. Well, I lost my thread there. Nice and tight. Alright, now I'm not going to knot it this time because we're not going to want to have like a big visible knot. We're just going to do one little bitty stitch right through the very edge. And we're just going to tie off this pigtail here. And cut our thread and do the same thing on the other side. Just go right through the edge here. Tie it off. Get the needle out of the way here. There we go. Much better. Alright, now got our little dolly, and you would just do the little button eyes or paint the face or however you want to do the face, and that's it. It's a dolly for your dollies. Okay, thanks for watching. Everybody go check out Christine's video. She should be starting soon if she hasn't already. Sorry for going a little bit over. Okay, if anybody has any questions, let me know. Hopefully this worked okay and the audio was fine. So I guess I'll see everybody again tomorrow for the vendor showcases. Bye!